Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about Survivor 40 Winners at War.
Oh, yeah.
It's a long time coming, this episode.
But first, if you are new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And if you want to support us on Patreon, there's a link in the description. Everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Just join us. Okay.
Oh, boy.
I'm very excited to get to the end of the episode.
Well, I was already excited about a swap. I'm like, here we go. We're gonna have two. We're gonna have three.
What's
Who's
gonna happen?
Be with who? What's happening? Yes.
Yes, but before we do any of that, we see Nick get a token from Tyson.
Start with Nick.
He's like, great, I have another token now.
Feeling good about life.
Yes.
Oh, how nice that I get this token.
Great. Yeah, and then we see a great Yule segment.
Yule.
I mean, Yule is positioning himself as
beautiful Yule.
An angel? Like, who is this man?
Who are you?
Oh my God.
Incredibly smart, gorgeous, and
thoughtful,
caring
generous.
man. Just talking about his bond with his good friend Jonathan Penner.
Yeah.
They played together.
Yeah.
And he got to know Jonathan and his wife.
Yeah.
His wife has ALS. He's just, as he's talking about this bond, this relationship, this friendship, he's getting emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful just to see any moment of authentic emotion where the other castaways are giving hugs and
you can't help but respond.
Saying, wow, yes, I had no idea. They're learning. It's just,
this is like a genuine connection kind of segment.
Yeah.
And it's just really beautiful to hear Yule say, like, you know, if I win, I'm donating the money to ALS research. And
right, and wants to bring awareness.
Yeah.
This is part of why he's here, is to enlighten everybody. And then we should point out, like, as soon as the segment was over, they go to commercial, but it was a little bit of a sort of a PSA with the Penners and talking about ALS, and it was just lovely that CBS did that.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. We get to the swap after all of this, right? This is the meat of the episode. This is
Three tribes. We're going to three.
Yes.
We're going to three.
So
I don't know how I feel about three, but now I'm excited about three.
I like three because of that song mostly.
Okay.
And the fact that it's even three tribes of five.
Right. We knew numerically we could do this perfectly.
Yeah.
But I was like, I just don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But here we are, and I'm loving it.
Now let's go through these tribes.
Okay,
because some are trickier than others.
And I do want to say, like, I keep an eye on these things. We've talked about it in the past. Is it random or is this produced?
Yes.
Do the producers put them on their tribes? And it did appear, I watched it twice, it appears that Jeff presents a plate and they just grabbed. So I'm going to say this was random.
Right. It's not like the beginning when it was like, grab the buff with your name on it.
Right.
Anything like that.
And I do feel like we've seen swaps where it was like, this one's yours. Like, it seemed very specific, but this one seemed random.
It seemed random. I will say, like, we both work in television, we've made TV. You can shoot these things multiple times and cut it together to look like whatever you want it to look like.
So true.
But from what they showed us, it seems random. So let's go through, you know, who is on what tribe. Now, they're keeping the original two tribe names. So the new Sele is Parvati and Michelle, and then Nick, Yule, and Wendell.
Okay, from the get-go, I'm loving this tribe. I was like, this, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yes.
I love that Yule, Nick, and Wendell are together. I feel like that's good.
Because they already were together.
Yes.
On the previous tribe.
Right.
And then I think Michelle was kind of keeping Parvati around on that tribe. Like, they had a little something going.
And we kind of got the heads up that Michelle and Wendell had a thingy.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
Yes.
And I just feel like overall this is like a tribe that can win, and I feel good.
Yule and Wendell and, you know, even Michelle and Parvati. And Nick, like, this is a great, physically capable, very smart tribe. They're going to be good.
They're going to be just fine. New to call.
Okay.
This one's a little funnier.
A little funnier.
Sandra.
Yeah.
With Tony and Kim. And then we throw in a little Jeremy and Denise.
Okay.
There.
So here...
A bit more mixed.
A bit mixed. A bit like, it seems like there's a possibility that maybe one of these tribe members is gonna flip. You know, someone's clearly in the middle here.
Like, Sandra and Tony can work together, but we also know that Sandra can turn on Tony on a dime.
But we've already seen them working together this season.
Yeah.
Like, that's been a thing.
And Jeremy and Denise, like, sure, but not really.
No.
Like, not super close.
No, their bond, I think, is that they're coming from the same tribe. They're in the minority, so they're probably going to stick together.
And we've been worried about Kim from the get-go, so I just feel like, ooh, what is this?
Yeah.
Okay,
now the new tribe is Yara.
Yara, with a green buff.
So this is Sarah and Sophie paired with Ben, Adam, and Rob.
And this is when I'm like, whoa, that's just a hot mess.
Wow,
right
I want
there.
to cut into this juicy steak of a tribe.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because Ben, Adam, and Rob, they may be from the same tribe, but they ain't friends.
No, and they were the center of the drama on that tribe.
Yes.
But from 3 different directions.
Right.
So it's like, are they forced to work together? Or are they going to just break apart? These are my first thoughts when I'm seeing this.
Yeah.
And also, Sarah and Sophie, sure, they come from the same tribe, but like, were they super close? Oh, it didn't seem like it.
It didn't seem like it. It seemed like they were kind of on opposite sides of things, maybe. So
I think overall, looking at these 3 tribes, what stood out to me was that Rob, Parvati, and Sandra were on 3 different tribes.
That's the thing that makes it feel not random, you know?
Right.
But, you know, it's totally possible that the 3 of them would all be on their individual tribes.
But also, if I were a producer, I would have specifically produced them to be together on a tribe.
Yeah.
So even though it doesn't seem like it's random, I'm thinking, I feel like this is not what they would have wanted.
Okay. Well, I feel like the producers want those big personalities around for a good old long time, so they're not going to like clump them together where it's easier to pick one of them off.
Okay.
Anyway, it seemed random, so I'm going to go with it was random.
Absolutely.
So after the swap, now we're like going back to camp.
Yes, now they all have to see their new camp.
Their new, you know, shelters and all of these things.
They don't know.
Yeah, right. And very quickly, it's like, we got to establish what are the new relationships. Like, who can I trust? Who can I talk to? Meeting new people. I think we start on DeCall. And this is where Kim emerges as the swing vote on this tribe.
And Jeremy, being the smart person that he is like, what is this dynamic here? Yeah. And Kim makes it obvious.
She's like, she doesn't even really say a whole lot. She's just like,
she's like, yeah, I would maybe like to work with you. Yeah, maybe.
She's like, you know, I have to be careful.
I just need to be careful about what I say. Like, it's obvious that she is not super close.
That's right. And Denise and Kim walk off together. I'm loving this because these are my top 2 ladies. These are my picks to win. So I'm excited to see them kind of acknowledging, like, it's a vibe here. We're feeling it. Like, this is, I feel good about this. Like, I would love to work with you. And both of them are acknowledging, yes, let's work together.
Yeah. So it honestly, at this point, looks like Kim's looking the best she has yet. Yeah. All season.
Tony's going on about lions and hyenas.
Yeah, sure.
And he's worried that he's a lion and he's going to get eaten by hyenas. Yeah. So he's got to keep Kim on their side. Even though they haven't really been working with Kim, they got to pitch to her.
They need her as a buffer.
Number strong. Like, Tony is saying, like, Kim is definitely a shield for us. Like, she's a strong woman in this game. We got to keep her around and pick off these hyenas, Denise and Jeremy.
And we actually don't hear from Sandra. So we don't know if she's really buying this or if she's in on it. Yeah. We just kind of see Tony being Tony. You know, he's going to get fearful. Yeah. And worry about Kim, which is the smart thing to do.
And he does talk to Kim, and he says, like, let's stay strong. Yeah. And Kim's like, of course. Sure. Yeah, Kim's keeping her options open, and she's feeling good about being in the middle, but realizing that staying with, you know, her original tribe mates might not be the best move for her.
For her, no. Yeah. Let's move to Sele. That's up next.
Okay.
Oh, first, the cutest thing here is Wendell's like, this is your shelter?
I know.
What?
And they're like, yeah, sorry, we need an upgrade, so...
bit of a fix.
Thank God you're here.
Yeah, he's like, jeez Louise, y'all.
Yeah, and honestly... Parvati is beaming, all smiles, flirty flirt, because guess what? Yule's wife loves Parvati, and Nick had a high school crush on Parvati. So
okay, you didn't have to say the high school school part, Nick. Like, she probably was like, thanks a lot, bud. But of course, they're like,
she's eating it up.
And she's like, I mean, Nick, get a hold of yourself.
Right.
Jeez.
He's like, I'm embarrassed to say it. And she's like, say it. Oh my God, be bad.
Yeah,
Nick.
Parvati's being Parvati. The men are crumbling like usual.
Oh my God.
But then we get to the Michelle and Wendell bit of this.
Okay, as we suspected, they are exes.
They are exes, and they're awkward. They're awkward.
How do we put this?
The fact that Wendell could not even, he was like flustered in his confessional to the camera, then it's like, oh, this is awkward. If he can't get it together, what's happening? And when the two of them talk, this was funny because they're just like, hey, haha, Michelle's making jokes. And Wendell was like, well, we shouldn't be caught talking, like, first off, talking to each other.
Like, why are you talking to me?
And I get that. Like, yes, if anyone knows you're an ex and the two of y'all are talking, you're a target immediately. I get where Wendell's coming from. But obviously Michelle is a hurt ex. And she's like, triggered by that. Oh, really?
Oh, wow. The same thing from our relationship. This is exactly how our relationship went the first time and why it didn't work out.
Oh, no. Then we proceeded to hear way too much about a relationship from Michelle.
Oh, she just unloads on Parvati of all people because, you know, she's the only person from our original tribe. But it's like, you can't
girl talk.
Give all this info to Parvati. Like,
no, or to us. Like, I cannot believe she was sitting down in her confessional being like, he hurt me.
Right.
And I just want to be like, well, I was just like, Michelle, you guys both have played this game. Like, get it together.
Keep some secrets.
Like, oh my gosh, it's like she went from having to prove herself as a winner to like, that's my ex-boyfriend. Like, I just can't.
Oh my God.
So honestly, I don't know how that dynamic is going to go down.
No idea.
It doesn't seem great.
I don't see Michelle working with Wendell, though. Like, it just seems like there's too much history there, too much tension. Like,
I mean, they have time to figure it out. Yeah. Since, obviously, we're going to get to that part. But yeah, right now, I'm not so sure.
Oy is all I can say about that one.
But Parvati, I feel like, is doing just fine.
Sure. She's going to be great. Then on Yara.
Okay, new trip Yara.
This, I think, I mean, honestly, you know, when the swap happened, Sarah was like, this one is the stickiest, it's the most fun. And I was like, okay, I guess I see it. And then as soon as we get here, the dynamic is totally different. The conversations are totally different. It's not like, hi, I'm Rob, I'm Sophie, nice to meet you. It's like, what side of the vote were you on with the Amber vote? Well, and what happened with Tyson? And what happened with Ethan? Like, they're all comparing notes.
I mean, Rob is good with that, especially since it involves his wife. Like, he wants to know. This is his first chance of, like, getting real info.
Absolutely.
Like, how did the vote go down for my wife? And then Tyson is also his best friend, and he was just told that Tyson turned on Amber. He's like, how did that vote go down? But also, to that same point, Sarah is a cop.
Sarah handled it well.
She's going to do the same thing. She's like, so now how does this? And how did y'all vote? And how does it, like, she's doing the same thing. She needs info.
And I think of everything we've seen from Rob and people interacting with Rob so far this season, I think Sarah handled him the best in these situations because he was like, how'd the Amber vote go down? She was like, it was unanimous and it was Tyson's idea. Tyson flipped first. We were going to vote Tyson and then he flipped and said he was willing to go Amber, so we voted Amber. She's just like, no emotion, no over-explaining. She's just very confident, like, this is how the vote went down. And then, yes, the vote was unanimous for Tyson. Like, she's not taking his crap.
Nope.
Which I loved to see.
I loved it. I loved the addition of Sarah and Sophie in Rob's world so much. I mean, just to see Sophie be like, oh, I don't want to work with him.
I know.
I'm like, thank you.
Thank you. Finally, someone.
How did it take so long? You just walked on the beach with him and you're like, nah, pass.
Right.
No thanks. But clearly, these dudes have not worked together very well or successfully. And the girls are like, oh, I see. You know, okay, yep, got it.
Well, and then the girls are like, I'm all ears, like whatever you want to say. So we see Ben having conversations, and all of the guys are having individual conversations with the girls, and they're just kind of spilling all the stuff.
Yeah, well, we know how Ben loves to spill things.
Oh, God, he loves talking.
Talky. And it took him a minute, but he realized that he doesn't want to work with Rob. So he's more than happy to be like, nah.
Yeah.
He wants to control the game.
Yeah.
I want him out.
Right, but here is the brilliance of Sophie. She sees all of this going down, and initially they're like, this is great, there's so many cracks. And then Sophie's like, there's almost too many cracks.
Right.
Where these guys are gonna get together and realize that their only move is to work together. So we have to find an idol.
And that was my original thinking. When I saw the three of them, I was like, what a crazy mix. But here they are, they're gonna be forced to work with each other.
Yeah.
And she's 100% right. Luckily, she does find that idol.
She does, and I thought it was gonna be Rob. The way they cut this together, everyone's looking. Oh, and Rob is the only one giving any kind of narration to this. He's saying he had clues when he was on Redemption Island. He doesn't know how to find the idol just by looking for it. He's behind everybody else, and I'm like saying to Sarah, like, it's gonna be Rob. He's gonna freaking find it. And then Sophie snatches it up and sticks it in her underwear. She's turning out her pockets innocently when everybody's asking for an idol check. Oh my God,
Ben pulled her off. I'm emptying out your pockets. And she's like, sure. It's in my crotch.
Yeah. Can't find it there, sorry.
That's where it should always be. Sorry, it's gross, but that's where it should be.
So then she fills Sarah in, and she's like, I found it. I have to give that to you.
Well, because again, it's another split idol where one half has to go to someone else before sundown. I guess that's the theme of this season.
Yeah.
They're really forcing those connections or revealing.
Yeah,
You're not going to be the only one who knows about this idol.
Right. It's an added risk to a hidden immunity idol. It's not 100% hidden. At least one other person knows about it.
I loved hearing Sophie say, now I understand where Kim was coming from. Because Sophie would not have chosen Sarah any other time.
But she has to now.
But she has to. And that's kind of where Kim was like, I don't know what to choose.
Yeah.
So I tell Sophie.
Right. And Sarah, has this steal a vote advantage that she's acknowledging it at this point in the episode, but she's not telling Sophie.
Yeah.
She's just kind of keeping that in her pocket, but she's thinking, this is amazing. Now we have an idol and I have my steal a vote. So feeling a little more comfortable being on the bottom with these advantages in our pockets.
Right. Okay. Let's play for immunity.
Immunity. Okay. This didn't exactly go down how I thought it would because I didn't really see DeCall being so far behind.
It was unusual.
Yeah.
They could not get over the net from the get-go.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly where the problem was, but they were struggling from the beginning.
Yeah, they kind of are behind. The other two are kind of neck and neck. Yara and Saleh are neck and neck.
Yeah.
But they have to climb over these ladders and, run down the net and then throw the sandbags at the blocks, and then it's the block puzzle.
Which is like a Rubik's Cube, and that's so hard. Okay, Yara does get to this puzzle part first. They breeze through fairly quickly.
Yeah. And this is Sophie and Adam on the puzzle, right?
Yes. Which I'm thinking, yes.
Oh, yeah. Dream team on a puzzle?
Absolutely.
Yes.
DeCall is, like we said, struggling, so they get to the puzzle last.
But then everyone's still working on the puzzle at that point. Again, the puzzle is the great equalizer in Survivor, so everybody's working on the puzzle together.
And then out of the blue,
Saleh nails it.
Just boom.
I think it was Michelle and Wendell. Parvati and Wendell.
It was Parvati and Wendell on it.
Yes.
David requested last week that Wendell be on a puzzle, and so they listened to you and they put him on.
Because he's been on every puzzle. He just hasn't been on the puzzle. You know what I mean? Like he's in the background.
In the background.
Working the puzzle. And I'm like, just do it yourself.
Yeah.
So he did and he won.
Yes.
And then, like you said, you were not.
Right.
You were expecting.
Like, Saleh's gonna blow through this. They didn't get to the puzzle first, but they did win the whole thing first. And I was like, see, got it.
Yeah.
But then, DeCall.
Okay.
So that's where we are left with Yara as big fat losers.
Right. So DeCall wins that second immunity, and I'm a little surprised because Yara got to the puzzle first, and Sophie and Adam are both so smart, and how could they not figure this out? But, book smarts aren't everything in Survivor.
I mean, it did look like a hard puzzle, but it's shocking that they had a lead and they weren't able to pull it out.
They had to, start over at one point, or they chose to start over at one point, Jeff points out. So they struggled with it, so it is Sophie and Sarah seemingly maybe on the bottom when we go back to camp.
Yara / Hot Mess Tribe.
This
is what I'm nicknaming them.
Possibly the least interesting camp pre-tribal that we've ever seen.
Interesting. Okay, I do have to say, going, as soon as I see that they have lost, I'm like, clearly this is when you get Rob out.
Clearly.
But because Rob is magical and he's never going to be voted out, I was like, who's it going to be then? Right. And I'm just racking my brain on how this is not going to be Rob.
Well, and I keep thinking, how is Rob going to make his way out of this because of the advantages? Yeah. Like, he doesn't even know that it would behoove him to try to get in with Sarah and Sophie because they've got all this power right now, and like, they're probably going to use it to get him out. He doesn't know that. So, you know, I'm sort of not seeing a way out for Rob. Sarah's kind of searching for one.
I'm just searching, yeah. So what we see is Sarah and Sophie are like, we got to get the guys on board. And then we see the guys at the well, and Rob is being Rob, and he's like, so we got to stay strong. We got to stay strong with the numbers. They do a whole handshake of like not writing each other's names down. Right. And they come to the decision of Sarah. They're just kind of casual about it.
They're kind of like, you know, Sophie's more beneficial in challenges, so let's get rid of Sarah. Okay, they're just picking between two, you know.
Sure. And then Rob implements his good old buddy system. Oh
my God. He says, okay, this is great. We've decided that Sarah is the target, but how do we make sure that nothing changes before tribal? Buddy system.
Let's sit at camp together and not leave.
No one leaves.
I mean, the way he just says things, I see why people follow him. They follow him wherever because he just says it so casually. Yeah. He's just like, we got to stay strong. And the way to do that is to not leave each other's side. Well, you can't argue with that.
You can't. It's a brilliant strategy because if you say, no, I'm not down with the buddy system, then all of a sudden you're not trustworthy. And then you make yourself a target.
Yes.
It's such a brilliant move.
It really kind of is.
And it works. Like, they go back to camp. This whole segment is crazy just watching them, washing their hands, stoking the fire. Rob is sharpening a sword.
Knife. Oh my gosh.
Indicating like, don't you dare walk away.
Mint Oreos. Like, what was it? I mean, just the dumbest conversation.
And Sarah and Sophie are like, I am so bored.
Are you kidding me?
I want to have a conversation, but I can't. And so finally, Sarah and Sophie kind of bail on camp together because there's no harm in that.
Yeah. And luckily they have like had it. Yeah. They're like, I'm not playing like this. Yeah. Like, you don't get to control me.
Right.
They know what's going on and they don't want to play like that. And I think honestly they probably had to be pushed to this point. Yeah. To get here.
I think this is ultimately what kind of sealed Rob's fate. If it wasn't already certain, now Rob has engineered a camp situation where 4 other winners are playing his game. And they're not allowed to leave camp. They all feel like prisoners. And I'm sure they're all like, I am not going to I came here to play to win. I didn't come here to play Rob's game. And I think they're all getting super frustrated. We see Ben trying to signal to people without being seen like, it's Rob, it's Rob, it's Rob.
Yes,
you know?
So we do get to see that because you're like, I hope they're communicating in some way. Yeah. And we see him be like, but we don't know to who, we don't know in what context, like we don't know how that's going down. We can only just be like, are they getting the message across? Yeah. Because it also comes down to, does Sarah play her steal a vote or not? Right. Because she can. Yeah. But like, obviously nobody wants her to if she doesn't have to.
That's right. I mean, that's an easy way for her to win the evening. And like, she seals whoever's fate by stealing a vote at Tribal because she and Sophie are tight. But she doesn't want to use that because she's acknowledging before we go to Tribal, like, this game is going to get a lot crazier. I want to save this advantage. I don't want to use it without needing to.
Okay, so let's finally get to Tribal.
Yes.
And this is when Sophie makes a beautiful point, kind of what you were just talking about, of like, Rob implemented a strategy that he used when he won previously. Yeah. And it's a proven strategy and it's now being worked on us. Yeah. Like, she spelled it out. Yeah. And I thought that was beautiful and perfect because that's what it is. And you just want to make sure all the winners are clear.
Let's get on the same page, folks.
That his winning strategy is being worked on us.
So are we going to let that work again?
Right.
Or are we going to stop it in its tracks? That's what she's trying to say. She's also talking about, you know, Jeff brings up the word crack, right? Sarah and Sophie are on the bottom, and so they're searching for cracks. And Sophie's like, I kind of take issue with the word crack because that implies that we're invaders. Yeah. But I'm looking to build real relationships here.
Yes,
I want to work with these guys. Like, I don't want to be, you know, considered some parasite or some like you know, whatever, trying to wriggle in and break people apart. Like, I want to build a real coalition here.
So great.
Yeah.
So great, Sophie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was a beautiful thing to say as well.
Oh my God.
Because then that makes her look like, I'm trying to work with these people. I'm not trying to, like, fight them down.
And it's like, I'm not trying to just survive this one tribal. I want to build something that will carry us all forward into the future.
And of course, Rob has a great comeback as well, as he always does. And he's like, look, numbers work.
That's a numbers
And
game.
I was like, well, we know how numbers work.
I get it.
Rob.
I get it. This is not complex calculus. It's
He's
just...
like, I do it because the numbers work. And we're like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking at this point, like, I'm still curious if Sarah's going to use her steal a vote. I'm not sure when she has to announce the steal a vote.
I'm like, she does have to announce it, right?
Right, because they do, like Jeff says, did I miss anything?
Right.
And then they kind of linger on Sarah as though she's about to announce her steal a vote, but she doesn't say anything.
Right, that is when I believe she would have said, I'm going to take this person's vote.
Rob's vote.
Right. So that would be obvious to everybody.
But she doesn't play it.
But she doesn't. And I'm just thinking, like, I still am having a hard time believing it might be Rob.
I know.
But I'm also like, how is it not Rob?
How is it not Rob? So when they vote, we see obviously Sarah vote for Rob. We see Rob vote for Sarah.
Yes.
We don't see any other votes, but we do see Adam struggling to put the lid.
Fumble, Adam.
I mean, this is his edit this season.
I love it. How many times can Adam be like,
how do I do this thing? And then when we read we get back and he's about to read the votes. Does anybody have an idol? They, linger on Sophie. She does not play the idol. And I'm thinking, I hope these ladies are right.
And I don't think Sophie needs to play the idol because they showed us a Sarah vote. So I feel like Sarah's in danger, not Sophie.
Yeah.
But anyway, all we get is one Sarah vote, and then the
Rob. We don't even see the last vote. We're assuming it's Rob. Why wouldn't they have shown it?
Where they would have said,
yes.
They would have tried to make it seem more tight.
Yes.
So
Rob is gone.
That means that Adam and Ben turned.
Yeah.
I think they should have.
They should have. Because Rob was
playing them. Why did it take Sarah and Sophie for us to get to this point?
I mean, this was the move that I'm not necessarily thrilled to see Rob go because he is such a fun player to watch. Yes. He's an amazing player.
Oh my gosh.
Thankfully, we still get him on Extinction Island. Like, thank God for this,
right? He gets to go see Amber.
Yeah, we'll get to see them together.
They get to hug. I would put my money on, even though Natalie looks brilliant on Edge of Extinction. Yeah. We actually didn't get a segment in this episode. Right. But I would put money that Rob's coming back, defying all odds. And Rob is the one returning.
It's just satisfying because this move has needed to happen for such a long time. And now it's finally done. And so I feel like we can move on to other strategies. Rather than just like, when are we going to get Rob out?
Yes, and I just love seeing Sarah and Sophie do it.
Yeah.
Because I love both Sarah and Sophie. I think those are very smart ladies and tough cookies. Yeah. And I just like seeing them kind of walk in the minority and being like, no, this is the move. Mm-hmm. And they did it.
They did it. They were like, why would we want to work with Rob? He's
Way
gone.
to make big moves.
He's gone. He gives his tokens to Parvati, who is now...
That means she has 4.
The richest person on the island.
On the island. She is now just as rich as Natalie off the island.
Yeah.
Those two are in the lead with tokens.
Parvati will be thrilled to uncover 2 more fire tokens. And who knows what she's going to do with those. But having more fire tokens is going to be good for her.
She looks like she's doing just fine where she is.
Yeah, I agree.
And she'll have extra tokens.
Now, in the preview for next week, we see a little bit of Extinction. Tyson's cooking up something like crazy, funny, kooky, whatever. Because we didn't get to see Tyson at all on Extinction this week. So that'll be fun to see that. And then
we hear... both tribes are going to vote somebody out.
Huh.
So it sounds like a double goodie.
So only one immunity next week.
Okay, one immunity.
And the 2 losing tribes will send somebody home.
Yes! Well, that's exciting.
Yes.
I love that. I wonder if it'll be one of those where, like, you'll see who's out.
Interesting.
And then the next one goes in. Remember when they did that?
Yes.
Don't know if that matters or not.
But love a double elimination. That just makes things all the more fun to watch.
Absolutely. Oh, wow. What a fun episode. I was so excited about the swap.
Yes, this swap did exactly what we wanted it to. It shook up the power dynamics.
It did.
You saw people like Rob who are on top fall. You saw people like Kim who are on the bottom rise to this like power position. This is what you want from a swap.
You saw exes being awkward. Yeah. I mean, what more can we ask for?
Yes.
What did you guys think? Are you happy? Are you sad? Did your favorites get together or separated?
Yes. And, you know, who do you think is positioned the best on these individual new tribes going into this double elimination?
Okay, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, bye.